Hi class, Mrs. Lowe here. I'm in section 4.3, graphing, y equals mx plus b, and I wanted to do a couple of your homework problems from lesson 8. In particular, I'm going to be working on page 179, number 1D, 2F, 5I, and 12C. So if you've done this already, you can check. If not, you can work along with me. Number 1D says state the slope in y-intercept of negative 1/2 x plus 6. Well, that's very easy because the two bits of information that I'm looking for, slope and y-intercept, are right there in the equation when it's in slope-intercept form. In fact, the m is the slope. It's the coefficient of the x-coordinate, so it's negative 1/2. And the b is the y-intercept. It's also the constant when it is in y equals mx plus b. So the b is 6. So we have our slope, which is m, and our y-intercept, which is b. So we found the two. 2f says write the equation if m equals 0 and b equals 3. Well, again, I want to write it in the form y equals mx plus b. And the two things I need are slope, which is 0. So I'm going to replace the 0 with the m, or excuse me, the m with 0, and the y-intercept, which is b, I'm going to replace the b with 3. Now, I don't need to write y equals 0 times x because 0 times x is just 0, so it's just y equals 3. Now, the question is, what kind of line is this, horizontal or vertical? That's right. If you said horizontal, that is correct, and it's through y is 3. All horizontal lines begin with y equals a number. All right, moving on to number 5. 5 asks us to graph the equation, and we are given the equation of the line in y equals mx plus b. So the two things we know are the slope and b, which is the y-intercept, which is 3. To graph it, we're going to first put a dot on the y-intercept where y is 3. Okay? Then I'm going to use the slope to get to my next point. The slope is rise 2, run 5. Now, I can go up 2 or I can go down 2. It does not matter, but notice that the slope is positive. So in general, it has to go up and to the right. So depending on if you go up, you have to determine if I go to the right, will it be positive slope, or if I go to the left, will it be positive slope. So just be careful, the slope has to go up and to the right. The line has to go up and to the right. So if I go up 2, I have to run 5 to the right in order to create this positive slope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a point. And if I go down 2, I have to go 5 to the left to create that positive slope. Now remember, there's infinite points between these. We're just graphed a few of them. And then you should use a straight edge. And you want to extend that line all the way across the paper, and you should have arrows on the end because lines go on forever. So this is the equation of the line y equals 2/5 x plus 3. Every point on this line will satisfy this equation. Pretty easy. All right, moving on to the last problem, which was 12C. It tells us to determine the value of m in y equals mx plus b if the line passes through this point. Well, you can't have more than one variable in order to solve for a variable. So if we're trying to solve for m, we also have y, and we have x, and we have b. So we have to be given some more of that information. In fact, it does tell us that b is 2 in the problem. So we do know that y equals mx plus 2. Well, I still have 3 unknowns, and I can only have 1. Well, fortunately, we know what x is and what y is. In fact, any point on this line will work in this equation. If we're told that negative 2, 6 is on that line, then it has to work in this equation, and therefore we can use it to find m. So I'm going to substitute x for negative 2 and y for 6, and I'm going to be able to solve for m. I'm just going to flip-flop the negative 2 and the m. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Right now that's a plus. So I have 4 equals negative 2m. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. So the slope of this line is negative 2. And if you were to write it as a fraction, it'd be negative 2 over 1. So the equation of this line is y equals negative 2x plus 2. This line also goes through negative 2, 6, and infinitely other points. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, this was a bit longer than most of them.